What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
And Chris Abicon.
What's going on, everybody?
What is up? So if you have not done already, please tune in throughout the week. So Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP, and then Fridays everything else. Like this episode will be about anything but cybersecurity, but it might be a little bit in there. But quick recap of this week. So on Monday, we talked about ex-employees' admin credentials used in U.S. government agency hack. So that was a good topic we talked about. Then on Tuesday, Microsoft says Iran, North Korea, Russia, and China are beginning to use generative AI in offensive cyber attacks. We all saw this coming. And then Wednesday's episode, Washington County pays $350,000 ransom after cyber attack. And we talk about how that is not a good idea. So definitely continue to tune in. This Thursday, I should have an Ask a CISSP as well. I think it's a returning guest. So we have a pretty good schedule coming up. I think I have like 7 of them coming up. So 7 or 8. So I'm very happy. Thank you for definitely making those popular, and people are going to return to us to talk about what their new initiatives and things of that nature are. And now, how's everybody's week? So that's what this is about. So if you came here for the cyber, it will be very light. So how was your week, Shannon?
It was good. Got a little bit of TV watching in. Caught up on this show called Not Dead Yet.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this girl's an obituary writer, and like when she gets an obituary of the dead people, like she can see them.
So quick question. So was she in Jane the Virgin or something like that? Is that the same lady? She looks really familiar.
I've never seen that.
I never watched it either, but I think it's the same actress. Or actor or whatever. But okay.
I've never seen Jane the Virgin, but yeah. So it's got a few different people in it. So like her friend is she was the model in New Girl, the one that married Schmidt. I don't know if you ever watched New Girl. But Schmidt married the one girl, but that was the model. Yeah, so that's her friend. Her boss is her boss is a girl that was in Superstore. This girl Dina that is in the TV series Superstore, which I've also started watching again. I was like, because I tried to watch it before and I was like, I can't get through it, but I braved through it, and it's kind of pretty funny. So yeah, I'm caught up on that one. It's in the second season now. It's only like 2 episodes in, so caught up on that. And then I started watching Superstore. I'm like 3 seasons into that. It's pretty funny. But watch those. And I know I'm behind the curve on at least Superstore, right? Because it's been popular forever, right? It's already off the air. It did like 6 seasons. But the other thing I watch, I only watched 1 episode of it, and I'm gonna ride it out because I think it might get better just by the trailer. But the Vince Staples show, like the rapper, show on Netflix. And it's him playing him, right? So, and I don't know if it's autobiographical because it says in the beginning this is based on fictional events, but I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, so it's not reality. It's a scripted show.
It's a scripted show. It's like a drama. Kenya Barris is I think he's the producer and the director on it. So the guy from Blackish, the guy that Black. Kenya Barris.
Okay.
But it was an interesting first episode, right? So, but we'll see how it comes about. But it's him playing him. But the trailer, when I watch it, it just made me laugh. A couple of the clips I saw, and I'm just like, wow. Because I saw him in Abbott Elementary. I don't know if you guys ever watch Abbott Elementary, but
no, I keep wanting to.
I keep hearing good things about it. Yeah,
it's the 3rd season now. I think has started. I haven't got a chance to watch it because it's one of the ones I watch with the wife. So whenever we can get some time together, we'll pick that one again. But he was a minor player on that, and he was cool, you know what I mean? Like he was just one of those things where he was like, all right, like he just let life come at him, like however. So I was like, all right, I'll give this a shot. So I'm only 1 episode in, but I'll watch some more just to see. It's only 5 episodes for this season. Okay. So if it's not good, Netflix will drop it, right, Ryan? You know the deal, right? Like,
if it is good, they'll drop it. Yeah, it's got to be spectacular for Netflix to do it again.
So we'll see what comes of it. But that's,
you know what's funny? You mentioned Abbott Elementary. I saw a trailer for that the other day. I'm like, oh, that's Tyler Williams. I was like, man, he's got. I was like, the last time I saw him was Everybody Hates Chris.
Everybody Hates Chris.
And he was so young. Right, I just saw him like, damn, he's a grown-ass freaking man now. Dang.
I think he has a brother who looks just like him.
Does
Like
yeah.
it's uncanny. Because he was on a different show called like Lab Rats or something like that. Like my kids watched it.
Oh.
I thought it was the same person. It's not though. I don't believe, or I'm crazy. One of the two. But
Yeah, but I just thought it was interesting. Like, yeah, it's I think because my wife and I actually started watching local news, right? Because we were just like, I think national news is just too negative. Local news, they'll have like a feel good story at the very end of it. But in that, right, local news like ABC, yeah, stuff like that. So I did see a trailer on ABC for Abbott Elementary. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out one of these days.
it's funny that you say that because I'm now watching local news. I just started like really watching it because I can't watch national news during
You
political
can't.
season. So I was
It's
like, you know what?
too
I still need
stressful.
news. So
Yeah.
I watched local news. I'm like, this is actually not bad. Like it feels a
It,
lot less biased. It was
Yeah,
crazy to me.
it is, and it's actually like how certain I'll call vendors or channels have certain biases, like you're
Yeah.
saying, but like I feel like local news is as neutral as can be because I
Yeah.
honestly feel like they just want to report some crazy stuff that happens locally, which is really unbiased, right? So like, and then they usually end up with some story of, oh, some guy's dressed up in a clown costume and he picks up trash on the highway. Like, yay, that's great
Right.
local news, versus, oh, mass shooting. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that. Like, we know that stuff happens in the daily, or, this many people died in Ukraine today. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't
And
take
it'll
all
still
this
be on the
all the
local
time.
news, but it won't be the cycle where they just talk about it for 24
Yeah,
so well, not say they shouldn't, but I
yeah,
just like it's the heavy bias
yes,
that
yes.
kills me.
But what's funny about local news? I'm like, I feel like I've finally become like my dad. Like I've started watching local news. Next
You're
thing you
old
know, I'll be
now.
watching, yeah, and then I'll be watching Wheel of Fortune right after it.
And then you'll
I'm
somehow find
there.
it, you'll find a newspaper to read.
Yep, find a
It's
newspaper.
hard to
Start
come
doing,
by.
yeah.
You'll find a
It's like,
newspaper.
yeah. I was like, man, I really enjoy local news. I really care about property taxes now. Like,
Yeah, and
wow, you know.
yeah, and the
It's
traffic. I need
it's
to know
more
how the traffic's flowing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's more
Eh,
applicable to you now that you're older, right? Like
Yeah,
stuff that you have to do.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Welcome to the Old People Podcast.
I love it.
If if I were to still be podcasting in my 50s, in my golden years, I would do an Old People Podcast. That would be something I would do. I would be live from the senior the what are they called? Oh, they're not senior retirement homes anymore. It's like when you're
Assisted
55
living.
plus. No, no,
Assisted.
before that, there's like
Oh,
a 55 plus community. What is it called?
oh
Nursing home?
man.
No,
No,
because
no, no,
you're
no,
not
no.
nursing home old yet. Like, but you just want to be around people who are your own age.
Yeah, I thought they were called senior living facilities or something like that. I thought that's just what they
Not
were.
not at 50, not in your 50s though.
55.
Active adult communities. That's what I've
Some,
heard. No, no,
something
because
like that.
active adult, right? They're all
Yeah.
playing pickleball and all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I phase up to that part of my life, I'm gonna do a podcast from there.
Yeah. I was
Reason.
thinking about it, like it'd be so peaceful to live in 55 up. It's just like, hey, you don't got like yelling kids and like it's just a bunch of people that want to hang out.
It's like being an adults only resort.
Independent living?
Yeah.
Independent living? Was that what you're thinking?
Independent.
Yeah, I think that is it. I think it is independent because you don't need assistance yet, right? Like that's the next stage.
Yeah.
And then it's all that good stuff. I do want to live in my own house though. But as the demographics change, right? Like who's to say like everybody right now is either my age or older than me, but let's say what's that? That'll be 15 to 20 years in the future. Who's to say that this place doesn't get bought up and become trendy, right? And I got a bunch of
Yeah.
20-year-olds living
It's the
around
new
me.
it's the new villages.
Right. Then I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. I need to go play pickup ball with my friends in the
It's too
villages.
loud.
It's too loud.
All your kids are adults, so you have no tolerance for children anymore. Even you
It's
had
so
children.
funny. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is my wife and I were having this conversation not too long ago, actually, about whether or not we would do that at a younger age, right? Like I was like, well, I think I'll work until I'm in my 60s, more than likely, right? Like save
Yeah.
up for retirement and do all that, and then when we retire, we can like retire, do what we want to do. But one of the points that we were talking about was actually living, like you're saying, Ryan, living in our own house, right? Because what do you do when grandchildren come along, right? Like,
Yeah.
thing our grandchildren did to us, like bring them up to the house, get them all sugared up, and then send them home. You
Yep.
know,
Here's a drum. Here's a drum set.
yeah, yeah.
Grandpa bought you a drum set.
Yep, all types of loud stuff. To just be like, yeah. Remember that time you didn't want to listen when I told you to clean your room? This is payback. I remembered that. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. But yeah, I see all the time people's communities get bought up, right? And then the demographics change. You're just like, well, I don't want all these kids and loud noises and all that other stuff. So I want to live by people who are like me. We go play some shuffleboard, some pickleball, some dominoes and spades. Listen to classical music, like back that thing up.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, classical for us now is like, yeah.
Like the whole different vibe. But
Oh
I don't know,
man.
like that, whatever the future holds, right? Like we're in this AI, generative AI dystopia. Like who knows what the future's going to hold? But how about you, Chris? What you got going on?
So this week has been kind of more passive and throughout the week really because I've actually been studying for CISM and Azure just like
Okay,
randomly. I want to get my my some additional certs IT certifications,
yeah. So
but
why CISM? I had to ask that question. Why CISM?
because I want it.
That's a good enough
I know.
reason.
So for me, I was like, my certs are all CompTIA and uh, well, I have CISSP now, right? So I'm like, I need to put another logo on my LinkedIn. So I want ISACA on there, right? So that's
Gotcha.
kind of is that
You're,
weird
you're
to think?
trying
Like,
to diversify. No, I get that. I get that.
yeah, I'm trying to
You don't want all your
diversify.
eggs in one basket. I was just wondering because you have your CISP now. Do you
Mhm.
want like CISM because you want to go into management, or is it CISM because you want to focus on the domains? Because you could always go up. You could always do CISP.
Yeah,
What is it?
yeah,
ISEM or whatever.
ESEP. Yeah, those are cool, but to me, I feel like um, I think it would broaden my range per se
Gotcha.
because, like, I think in the public sector, ISIC two kills it, right? But if you're talking like the financial industry, if you notice like the job postings, they're all ISACA. They're asking for CISA,
I
C-risk,
see what you're saying. Okay.
CISM. So it's like, hey, I know in the DoD, spirit of things, they're looking at CISP, the
Right.
8570
They care
certs.
about they care about the levels. So
Yeah, but if you look at the other sides, like there's so many other certifications out there
mhm.
specifically, but I think ISACA really has a lot of value in the non-DoD playing space. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, I need to diversify, right? But beside that, because I'm like kind of studying, you know, we just started doing background noise for TV. So I think the TV show of choice was Big Bang Theory this week. We have an HBO Max, just played some Big Bang Theory. I'm like, yeah, I love this show just because everybody's a nerd like me. And then I was just like thinking about it. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that show, but there's a character, Raj, who doesn't talk to
Yeah.
women because he can't. Right. And I'm like, man, how jacked up must he have had to grow up because that he can't talk to girls. um but yeah, but then this week, like now being the weekend, we actually started rewatching the Marvel series. So I've been kind of I wanted to relive how awesome the Infinity War saga
Mhm.
was, right? Just the build up to it. So yeah, we watched Iron Man 1 and Incredible Hulk this past week. Really enjoyed it, right? And it was really funny seeing like the first Iron Man, you can definitely tell like they had the plan for the MCU, but it's like you can tell like some of the technology was still old.
Right.
Like he was using some type of it wasn't a flip phone, but it was like a I don't know, it looked like a fancy
Feel
LG
like a
chocolate. You
like a
guys remember that?
sidekick or something like
The
that.
sidekick, yeah. But
Yeah,
you guys remember the LG chocolate, right? That they like it like flipped up.
Vaguely. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, like there he was using that for his video communication. It was really funny too. In that movie, one of the Terrys, he had an iridium phone on him. So I was like, I found
Oh
that
yeah.
to be very entertaining.
Mhm.
Like, oh dude, he's got iridium, great. But then we watched the Incredible Hulk right after that, right? And I again I haven't seen these movies in years, literally. Um, but it was really interesting that like the entire first 2 minutes was a montage of him actually going through the process to become the Hulk, right? Or at
Yeah.
least, going through the experiment. And then it starts off with him in the favelas in Brazil, right? You guys remember that? It was
Mhm.
just really interesting is because I think I remember why they did it like that is because the previous Incredible Hulk movie, which it wasn't Marvel, right? It wasn't really received that well, right? I remember watching it was with Eric Bana,
Yeah.
right? You guys remember that one?
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was the
And
Hulk, right? It
yeah,
wasn't
it was
called
the
Incredible Hulk,
Hulk.
it was the Hulk, I think is what they called
Yeah,
it.
it was just the Hulk, but honestly, I don't remember it. Like usually when you think
He
of
was, he was
you think
grabbing
of a movie,
tomahawk missiles. Yeah, I remember
yeah, I was like,
that.
wait, I honestly don't remember, and I I honestly didn't even remember who the villain was for the Hulk, right? Like I knew Obadiah Stane, the bald white guy, right, with
Yeah.
the corporate, like a typical bad guy. But this Incredible Hulk movie, at least this new one or the latest one, I really didn't know I don't remember who the villain was. So to me, I'm like, that's how you know it's a good movie. You remember the villain, right? If you can remember the villain, because like everybody's got like every movie's got the structure of rising action, falling action, right?
Yeah.
But really, it's that hey, that villain was amazing. So I'm just gonna say this: a good movie needs a good villain. Period. Right? It does. Right? That's why
I
everybody
agree.
loved
Yeah.
That's why everybody loved Dark Knight. Everybody loved those movies. Everybody loved like the Infinity War movies. Right? I love the Infinity War movie, at least Thanos. Um, but like for example, can you name the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one?
Ooh, the first one.
I can't remember.
Ronan. It was
Yeah,
Ronan.
Ronan.
Yeah,
But
Ronan.
but but
But I
I
only remember that because of current movies. I did forget it at one point. I was like,
yeah, because it's
who's that
like
guy?
yeah, because and the thing is, so we started watching Iron Man 2, right? And I'm like, dude, who's the bad guy here? I totally forgot. I'm like, oh, it's Mickey Rourke's character. Yeah, there
Yeah, I
you
was gonna
go.
say who was the bad guy?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
remember
yeah, I was like,
that.
because then I was thinking it was Iron Man 3. Remember that guy that turned into Heat or whatever? I don't even remember that guy.
Yeah,
He was in Memento for the Chris Nolan movie.
yeah.
I forgot the actor's name.
I'm
You guys
fairly
know what I'm
remember,
saying.
but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys know what I'm saying, right? But yeah, that's been kind of our journey. So, and also it's one of those things we've been watching really, really, really good movies lately, like well written drama stuff Shannon doesn't like, right? A lot of drama, a lot of no plot hole movies and everything. Then I was like, you know, yeah, there's a bunch of plot holes. Like, why are villains so stupid? Like, yeah, they're just gonna be stupid. Like, they're just gonna do dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Like the general, the Betty Ross's father, or
Ross. Yeah,
the
General Ross.
Ross.
yeah.
So stupid, man. He's like, hey, yeah, fire into the Hulk. It's a there's literally like residents here, bro. Like you're firing a 50 cal in the city. Like, dude, you're killing millions, like hundreds of people right now by firing this at the Hulk.
Collateral.
Yeah, like collateral damage doesn't matter. And then my wife asked the question, it's like, is this real where this general just has so much power to just like manipulate, an organization to his own
Right.
will to where for personal gain? Like, how does a 3-star have
You don't get
to
you don't get the
conduct experiments and shit like this?
you don't get the nickname Thunderbolt because you ain't doing something right, right? Like
Right.
that's his call sign, Thunderbolt, right? Like so that's a good
Yeah,
name, you know what I mean? Like
it is. It
it's like
is.
Storm and Norman. It's like, oh yeah, I like that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But yeah, yeah. So it's just like there's gonna be plot holes. There, like Edward Norton's character is gonna run the wrong way. Yeah, he's gonna wear a red hoodie while he's running away from these
Yeah,
special forces
gotta
guys.
blend in. It's gotta blend in.
What? And then like, dude, you could just stay at the apartment instead of kept running, like little things like that. Right. So I just have to. We just like had to say, hey, accept that there's gonna be dumb stuff. You just got to forget about
Right.
it and you just got to enjoy the ride. It's like Fast and Furious. Like we don't know why Vin Diesel has superhuman strength now, but he does, guys. He just does. You know.
you have to you have to suspend disbelief, especially
Yeah,
when
there you go. Suspend disbelief.
you know what I
It's
mean. Like
just
you
gonna
have,
be crazy.
yeah.
There's no way to enjoy a movie if you don't suspend disbelief. So that's been my entertainment week. No video games, unfortunately. A lot of studying.
No, that's good. That's good. Like I need to get back on it too. I just started studying for CCSP, right? So I'm dipping back into IC squared, but I need
Nice.
I don't have any cloud certs, right? So I'm trying to get my I'm trying to broaden in that respect. Without going vendor specific just yet, I will, but I just want to get the overall security for cloud. So that's what I'm studying for.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna
Um,
take the Azure cert sometime next week. I'm like, I've been casually watching Udemy stuff, and I'm like, this is really, if you've taken, I mean, you have the CISSP, right? Like,
mhm.
it's so the Azure fundamentals, I think is so like right now, it just seems like very simple stuff, right? I'm
So
getting into the pricing section.
yeah, so my experience with it was it's you learn how to sell the product and
Yeah,
the fundamentals. You're like, here's what all these buzzwords mean, and this is why this is a good product. It feels very salesy. So
yeah,
you have to think about it from that perspective. Like if I'm
yeah,
a Azure AE trying to, you know,
yeah.
sell this to somebody,
That's true.
this is what I would say about these things. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna get there, but that's I started studying for it and then I kind of backed off because something else came up.
But you're right, though. I'm with you on the fact that it doesn't fulfill my intellectual needs as
That's
like
the next one. Yeah, this one
yeah.
is just like
It's
here's
just like I'm just like getting through it. I'm like, oh. Then I'm
here's the
like, okay,
pamphlet. Yeah.
I gotta go study SISM because like I like listening to SISM. Like I like watching the Udemy courses for that. Thor's videos are really good. Um, but yeah, you're definitely right on that. Like I want the fundamentals for everything. I want to be able to sell everything.
Yeah.
I got to. You know?
Yeah, yeah. So I will get there, but yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the CCSP. I'm up through. I'm almost done with the first domain. It's a lot of material.
It is.
I was for Valentine's Day. One of my gifts for my beautiful, smart, thoughtful wife was a master's class on branding, and I was like, that's way better than what I got you. I went material, you went actual thought. So I've been reviewing that. It's by Kev on Stage. It's actually really good. And it's made me rethink how I'm putting together. Like I have a bunch of efficiencies built in to getting the podcast rolling every week. And I never go
Mm,
past that. And I need to go past that if I want to get more people and want to do more with it, make it worth our time, basically. So I started his class and I'm actually already picked up some stuff. So I'm working on thumbnails and videos right now, production side, and then it's going to go more into the branding and how you get more of your content out there and things of that nature. So it's really good. So that's what I've been playing around with. So it's like studying, but he's a comedian, so he throws in funny stuff as well. And then
nice.
it shows a lot of his previous work and how it evolved to work. He has a show that's just been picked up by BET called Churchy. I don't know if you guys seen any ads for it, but that's kept on stage. So he started off with like legitimately years ago. I think I was in Virginia. Shamir put me onto him, and he was doing movie reviews while stuck in traffic. So he just had his phone up, and he was just talking like because he's a comedian. He was talking about the movie and the plot holes and things of that nature, and giving it a rating. He worked for Boeing at the time. He quit Boeing, moved to the West Coast with his family. Said his dream was to be star, basically directing, writing, all that stuff. 10 years later, he now has his own production company. He has an app. He has an amazing Patreon that makes like crazy loot every month. I forget what it was, like $50,000 a month or something like that is what he's pulling in for his Patreon. And now he's making syndicated shows on real networks. So it goes to show you, like he breaks it down, like it's not a short path. You don't just wake up one day and say, I want to do these things. He was like 10 years later, I'm finally where I want to be. So he was like, I can't get you there fast, but I can give you some efficiencies, right? Here's things I tried and this is how it worked out. You may want to try this instead. Or
Mm.
here's why this actually worked. It's really good. I like it. So I've been trying to utilize that for the podcast. And then I watched a lot of movies actually. So I watched, or not a lot of movies, but I watched more than one. So I watched The Color Purple. So uh,
The
it
new
was
one?
yeah, the new one. It was okay. It's on Max now. Like it had an all-star cast. Visually, it's gorgeous. It is based on the musical, so it is a musical. I usually like musicals a lot, but I've like I used to watch The Color Purple when it would come on. My wife watches it at least once a year, if not more than once a year. She reads the book. She like that is her jam. She wasn't really feeling it because of how truncated it is to make it into a musical. Like they chop a lot of the stuff out, they move stuff around. So I watched it trying to be unbiased. I'm like, nah, I like the movie better. Like this is not bad, but the movie is so much better. So watch that again. Not bad, but it's just if you're not as invested in the book and the movie, then I think you would really enjoy this. But also musicals have to be a jam. I know it's not Shannon's thing, um, but I would say go watch the movie. It's one of the best movies out there. Definitely check it out. I've not read the book. My wife reads the book like annually, so at some point I'm gonna pick the book up and read it.
I can't read.
And books are books are always better than movies. So I can't read.
That's true. That is true.
What was the other movie I watched? Was it Barbarian? No, I think we already talked about Barbarian. A horror flick. I did not finish Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and not because of the reason Shannon thinks.
I was gonna ask.
I was going to pick it up, and I was like, Shannon said he was gonna give me his prediction before I watched it. So I gotta get your prediction first, and then I gotta watch it to see if it comes true. Because I want to know what you think because I have no clue where this thing is going. I'm kind of bored with it, to be honest with you. But I got to finish it. I'm too invested. I only got 2 episodes left. I have to finish those. And then I jumped into a game called Helldivers 2. Excuse me. So I don't know if you guys know. Helldivers it's kind of like satire. It's I think the first one was an RTS type situation, over the shoulder or over like perspective was like over a map or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really play it. But Helldivers 2 is a third-person shooter, kind of a live service game, which I don't like live service games because I feel like I'd rather give you money so you give me content than free to play. I hate that. This one was $40. It's a budget title, and it's so much content in it already. I don't know what they're going to try to sell me in the future. I'm not going to buy it, but I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's a third-person shooter where you are basically Starship Troopers. Like you're mowing down insects in the name of managed freedom. It's hilarious. Like they managed democracy is what they call it. And you're spreading freedom throughout the galaxy. It's hilarious. It's very satire driven. The Helldivers you play as are kind of like Marines, and they have funny quips, and you're all cannon fodder. Like there's way more enemies than you can handle. So you'll go into a match and it's fine to die because they drop another one. Like you have so many lives basically. So like you're mowing down the bugs or whatever, and then they'll finally overwhelm you. And then they'll just fire another Helldiver down and you just assume that character. Um, it's funny. Like the physics is funny. Like you get blown up and get torn apart. The bugs are again mowing you down. But as you progress, you level up. You get new weapons, new strategies. I'm having a blast. And then you can also team up with people. I only did it one time. I did it by accident actually, because you can call in for reinforcements. I thought I was going to call in a computer character, and instead 2 Helldivers dropped, and they were real people, and they started talking to me. I didn't mean to do that, but then I didn't have a mic either, so we collectively started just mowing down the bugs and knocking out the objective, and then they just left after the mission was over. Because you come back on your ship after you have a victory, you come back on the ship, and as the landing pad moves up, fireworks shoot off. You do like crazy poses. It's hilarious.
Service guarantees citizenship. Sorry.
Yeah, stuff like stuff like that. Like I'm doing my part. It's like
do your
like
part. There's so many one-liners in Starship Troopers. Like it's so funny. I love that movie.
They lean very heavily into it, but there's 2 wars happening. So now I didn't know that going into it, but on the map, either you're fighting bugs or you're fighting I forget what they call them, like automations or something like that. But basically, they're Terminators, and some of their combinations are hilarious. Like I had these ones that were attacking me, and they had chainsaws for hands. Hilarious. So you got two wars on 2 different fronts. It's basically what you're fighting bugs on one side of the map, and you're fighting robots on the other. And you get to pick the difficulty of because I don't want to play with people a lot, so I pick a lot of the easier missions, which is like you're gonna attack this this group of enemies, or you're gonna defend this position, or there's a weird signal here, go figure it out. And then as you're moving through the map, other objectives pop up. that you could choose to engage with or not. So you can like, okay, I'm going to set up this relay with these things, and all this feeds into the online community. So like when you go to a planet to defend it, it'll say how liberated it is, which is hilarious to me. It'd be like 0% all the way up to 100%. So sometimes I get to a planet, it's like 92% liberated. So the mission is you don't get as many points, but if you go to a planet that's like 1% liberated, you get more points for that one because you're helping the community take these planets back over. You're spreading managed democracy. I'm enjoying it. Like you'll kill yourself all the time. Like I've done that. Like I'll ask for resupply and not pay attention to where I threw it, and then it'll drop on top of me. I'm like,
Love it.
So good stuff. Like if you're in any way interested in something that's it's basically like a time killer, like, okay, I just want to jump in this and have fun, I think it's worth the $40. So, and it's going to get me from now until Final Fantasy VII Rebirth drops on the 29th. And then after that, I'll re-engage with it.
I still got 2 games I haven't finished. I still haven't finished Horizon, and I haven't played the DLC for God of War. So I got to get through those before I bring anything else new into it. Yeah.
Right. Like, so I got a more DLC. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I just can't get into Forbidden, man. I don't know what it is. I downloaded it. It's on the drive, and then I downloaded Helldivers 2. But I just can't. I get that, and I have Resident Evil 4 DLC I had to finish called Separate Ways. That game was really good. I wish the DLC had come out sooner. Like once I'm kind of past the game, like I've been waiting for the Spider-Man 2 DLC to drop because I'm just like, if as I get further and further away, I'm going to delete that off the hard drive. Like you got to hurry up and give me something, or it's got to go. Like there's only so much space here. So like, what's going on with this? Like, give me something. I think they did have an update where they added New Game Plus and some photo modes or whatever. But no, where's my like? Because the first one had lots of DLC. Like, where's all that at? What's happening? So, but I say that God of War DLC came out like a year later. I had to re-download the game to get the DLC. They got it out to drive.
They didn't wait long for that one. That was kind of weird. Like it leads me to believe they were doing the development as they were making the game for initial release because it came fast. Because you're right, those DLCs take forever. And the first Spider-Man had 3. It was 3 different.
Yeah, it was abundance of content. Like this one, nothing. Like I 100%ed it. My son 100%ed it. The littlest one, he didn't finish it. He's like Shannon. He's like, there's too much story. I just want to put my hands on the bad guys. So he dropped it. I think that's pretty much it. I started dabbling with that game Returnal, but it's pretty hard. So I might get back to it. But right now, I just want to spread managed democracy across the universe. All right, I just want to kill bugs.
Kill the bugs.
And like last part, which I think is also funny, like when you go up to an objective and you need to do something like set up a comm relay or call in a supply drop, you hold the left bumper and then you have to put in a cheat code. So you don't just like go up and hold X. It's like you go up and you go up, down, left, right, left, right. Like it's funny. It's
now I got to remember Contra in order to drop.
But so they show it to you though. They show it to you like it pops up on the screen. But it's the add like tension because the bugs don't stop attacking you while you're doing this. So you have to hit these buttons while you're also dealing with waves of enemies. So I was like, it's pretty clever. Like I think they did a really good job with it. Like it's humorous. It's not easy, and I can see myself like even after I start playing Final Fantasy, I'm gonna come back to it. Like I think they finally found that balance because I hate free to play. I don't want to pay you more money. Like just give me the product and I will give you my money. I don't want you to give me something for free, hoping that I continuously drip feed you money. I don't want to do that. I hate that. I hate that model in general. Like just give me the thing. I'd rather pay you $100 up front than here's something free and then every couple months we want another $20 out of you. Like, no, man, I'm not doing that.
I want this new skin, guys. It's $10.
I hate that.
My characters look so cool.
I hate like that when that started. That was the downfall of video games, man. Like just charge with like because I get that they're more expensive than ever before. I get that. Like Spider-Man 2, even though it made like 300 million or something like that, like it costs 300 million to make. like games are getting more and more expensive to create. Like it's unsustainable. Like it's just not like, it's just not going to be possible. So I get to need more money, but they just start charging us more upfront, in my opinion. But also I'm privileged, right? Like as a kid, I wouldn't. I did pay $100 for Mortal Kombat though. Like that's before games had regulated prices and whatnot. I went to KB Toys. The first Mortal Kombat came out. I had to drop $100 on it. That was all my birthday money and some I forget what I was like recycling cans and stuff. Like I was getting it in to get Mortal Kombat. Cost me $100.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, they used to have fixed prices for video games. Like if you wanted the game, it was whatever they wanted to charge for it. So like, yeah, when MK dropped, I paid $100 for it.
Mm,
Do you guys remember when No Man's Sky was supposed to be the greatest thing ever?
Yeah, they said that
Yeah.
it's there now. They say if you play it now, it's closer to the realized whatever. But that took
But
years.
they marketed that thing like it was going to be the next game, the best game of all time.
Yeah,
I just
he was on
remembered,
Colbert. Yeah, he went to Colbert show. I remember that.
really, yeah, he was, yeah, but I just remembered, yeah, that's why it's like, hey, you don't want to release incomplete games. And I think that set the precedent with this DLC crap where these developers just they release half-ass stuff and it's just like, hey, pay more later on to get the complete game. Right. And I think, it's not, that's why Nintendo still is successful because they release good quality games, not as often, but they release them.
That's true. They got that silver quality. Like Nintendo will give you because they don't. There's pros and cons, right? Like yes, you will get a complete game from Nintendo. It will be an amazing game. However, uh, Nintendo does not care about online. They don't care about power. They don't like. They're just like we are a toy manufacturer. You will come here for our IP, which I
Mhm.
do. I do like. It is what it is. However, I want a little bit of oomph in the next Switch or whatever they're gonna call it.
Do you think
Mhm.
do you think that has something to do with Japanese culture though? Like they're like, hey, we're going to give you the excellence. You know what I mean? Like,
Could be.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
And they keep reimagining themselves, right? It's an over 100-year company. Like they went from trading cards to cabs to toys to now video games. Like so they're good at what they do. I'm definitely not gonna hate. I just want a little bit more oomph, right? Like so like the NES and the Super NES were powerhouses at their time, right? That was like state-of-the-art graphics, and they just have never gotten back there.
You know what I think it is? It's they definitely pivoted because they realized, hey, look, I don't think they can keep up technologically with powerhouses like Sony, Microsoft, right? So they went in a different direction and captured a different aspect of the market, right? The handhelds. The Switch is amazing, right?
Mhm.
Like it's just it captures a different audience, right?
Which is true. Just give
Mhm.
me a little bit more.
Yeah,
Just give me a little
I
bit
want.
more. Like when I play Tears of the Kingdom, like it's amazing for what it does. Like it's a complete game. It somehow functions. I don't know how on the hardware. Just think if you gave me more hardware though. Like how breathtaking. Like when I play Ocarina of Time, it looked amazing. Like not to say
Mhm.
that Tears of the Kingdom doesn't look amazing, but and when you bump it up against a Horizon, there's a huge delta there where you're like, oh, it's kind of ugly.
They're
It's
gonna start
amazing,
integrating.
but
Yeah. I was thinking like you guys saw how they came up with that Apple Vision thing, right? That, you know,
yeah.
imagine the next video game console being that. Like, hey, everybody's putting this thing on, it's gonna be freaking, interactive. And I actually kind of see Nintendo veering into that space, I think, in terms of if I were to bet it'd be them to do it versus, Xbox or PlayStation.
I mean, Sony kind of went that way though. Like PSVR 2 is a thing.
It
It's
is
just
right.
they did like for whatever reason they sent that thing out to die. Like there's no first party support for it. So it's like,
Correct.
why did you make this and not have a slew of games for it? Like that part I don't understand because I want one, but it's pretty much DOA. Like they say it's one of the best VR headsets you could buy. Where are the games for it?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
isn't that always what you run into being an early adopter of something new like that though? Like you can't assume that everybody's going to jump on right from the beginning, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to have success with the little bit that you give, and then these different studios and stuff will jump on and say, okay, they made money doing this, that, and the third. Let's go ahead and invest in that, right? Like nobody wants to put that money up front for it to fail, right? Like
Right, which I get, but then on top of it though, like Sony should have some exclusives or something. Like, give me something for this thing. Like I think it's more of there's like a Horizon for it, and there's a few other smaller titles, but it's mostly augment of what they currently have. Like what is it? Gran Turismo? Is that the Polyphony software game? Like that one plays amazing in the VR headset. Like
Mhm.
here's already pre-existing games and they look better, they play better within the headset. Like, no, I need you to give me like bangers. Like if I think if Sony were to lead the way, then third parties would follow behind. Um, and they really just didn't. Like, and they did the same thing with other PS. That's why I already knew. Like, I was like, this is not gonna jump off because they're not gonna put the games behind it. Because Nintendo doesn't drop a new hardware without a new Mario or a new Zelda. Like, they got to get people's foot in the door.
It's those was it what do they call them, like the anchor games or killer apps or
Yeah,
whatever, they need those.
your killer apps. Yeah.
Yeah, they need the killer apps.
So I don't like, I don't know if VR is ever gonna take off. Like my youngest plays VR, he loves it. Obviously we don't allow him to be in the headset for too long because it's not good for their eyes. So he has a certain managed amount of time he could be with the headset. But he's the only one who plays with the Quest. So we have like I think it's called MetaQuest 2.
Nice.
He's the only one who plays with it. The rest of it is
I
just
want
like
to I want to try that Apple Vision Pro. Like I just want to see what it's like. I mean, they hype it up so much. I've seen all the YouTube videos and how cool it is, but I want to try it out. I think that's their play. That's Apple's play into video games right there, in my opinion.
There's a lot of people returning them. I saw an article on
really.
Really?
they're getting headaches and stuff like that. And it's the
Gotcha.
same for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't
I
know.
want it because I'm in the ecosystem, right? So like I have all the products that it can work with. So it's like, why not just add
Mhm.
that to the I just can't justify the price tag though.
This is $3,500. That's why not.
Yeah.
So,
It costs more than my TV, but it can't but it's better than my TV, right? Like it's
Yeah.
but it's only 4 hours. Like the battery only lasts for 4 hours at a
yeah.
time, right? Or something like that.
You
Like
can
I'm
plug
like,
yourself to a wall. You can't plug yourself into the wall. You can tell it yourself. But the AI can't justify the price, and I know they're gonna do better with it. Like I want everybody else to be an early adopter this time around, because I know like maybe the price won't come down, but the product will be iterative. It'll get better and better and better and better. So I want like the Gen 2 or Gen 3 version of it.
Yeah, I want to do this like I want to be part of this podcast with one of them on.
With
See,
one of them.
yeah, I'm like, well, guys,
I mean that will be the future. It's just it's weird. Like we are really going Black Mirror. Full Black Mirror is what
yeah,
we're doing. Like we got the AI popping, we got the people stuck in
mhm.
augmented reality. We're all tethered to our phones. Like we will be the loneliest connected species of all time. We'll
We're
all be
gonna be
connected to
like
each other separately.
we're gonna be like those Wally humans
Yeah.
with Apple Vision Pros like this.
Just sitting in the chair getting wheeled around.
surrogates,
Yeah,
right? Remember the movie
surrogate.
Surrogates with Bruce
Oh
Yeah,
Willis?
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good movie actually.
I liked
For
it.
its time. Yeah, I like it.
I liked it. So yeah.
But yeah, that's the future. Like I don't know. It's crazy. Like I'm both excited and terrified at the same time.
Mhm.
So we'll see. Hey Chris, you should buy us all the Apple Vision Pro so we can all wear them on the show.
No, that'd be so funny. We're gonna be the first podcast that has all Apple Vision
All
Pros.
Vision Pro.
At least first cybersecurity podcast of all of us.
Right.
Apple Vision.
Only costs over $10,000 to make it happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Very
How many
expensive
views?
podcast.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely have to. What? How many millions of views would you have to get on YouTube to get that money back?
And so you know what? I think you'll get more of you smashing it or doing something dumb in real world than you will from us sitting down talking about cybersecurity news.
That's
People
true.
like I don't understand it. I do
Man
understand
jumps in
it, but
front
I don't
of
understand
man jumps in front of a train with Apple Vision Pro
it. Yeah,
and narrowly escapes. Some
that
dumb crap.
that person will get 100 million views.
Yeah.
So
Will it blend? But you know,
sad society, but
indeed.
it is what it is. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this upcoming week. Again, I'm gonna do a little bit more studying. I'm going to do a little bit more on the production side. So we'll see how that works out. And then it's a holiday coming up. So happy President's Day, all that good stuff. But everybody, please continue to tune in throughout the week. So again, Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays, Ask CISSP, and then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff that you just witnessed. So if you like this, continue to tune in. You hit us up by all the websites that go by our name. Give me a personal name. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on Twitter, Clubhouse, Threads, and LinkedIn. And you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Abacon, last name spelled A Bacon.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.